Top 10 most underrated roars. Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Rexy, King Kong, they're all well-known monsters and have made a name for themselves in every aspect of pop culture. That, of course, includes their roars as well. Much has been said and documented with regards to even their roars. But did you know that there are a few lesser-known monsters and characters that pack a roar as fearsome as these veterans? And, well, may even pack a bit more meat in their taunts and cries than the established figures? Oh yes, we aren't bluffing here. Because folks, we've done our homework well. So now get ready to witness some of the coolest and most terrifying sounds you'll ever hear. Number 10. Urag, Seventh Son. Oh boy, doesn't this supernatural beast of a bear pack a punch? Urag is one of Mother Malkin's lieutenants in the film Seventh Son. He has the ability to change between the form of a bear and a man. Standing at a height of 12 feet and weighing more than a ton in his bear form, Urag's roar has got just the right amount of beef and meat in it to make any person go weak at the knees. Number 9. Forest Dragon, Maleficent. Now that was a pretty nasty roar. Taking the 9th spot is the Forest Dragon from Maleficent, and this monster's roar was fairly underrated. The largest defender of the Great Forest called the Moors, this plant monster erupted from the ground and laid waste to the invading human horde. To add a bit more character to his personality, this beast of a being had a roar straight out of a kaiju fantasy. Number 8. Nemean Lion, Hercules. The 8th spot in our list of most underrated roars has actually been taken by a lion, specifically the Nemean lion. Let that sink in for a moment. This vicious monster from the Greek mythology could not be killed with mortals' weapons because its golden fur was impervious to attack. Its claws were sharper than mortal swords and could cut through any armor. To top that, it had the actual roar of a lion, but even badder and fiercer than the original. Number 7. Otachi, Pacific Rim. Kaijus are often highly rated, especially when it comes to their roars. However, that's not necessarily the case with the Pacific Rim Kaijus. As for Otachi here, Otachi is one of the largest and heaviest Category 4 kaiju to make landfall. But what many underestimate about this kaiju is its roar. It's a fairly formidable roar, and underrated is the right word for this beast. Number 6. Lizzie, Rampage. Taking the 6th spot in our list of the top 10 underrated roars is Lizzie, the giant crocodile monster that was infected with Energyne pathogen, after which she gained numerous auxiliary traits. After her mutation, Lizzie grew to gigantic proportions, but there's one thing most people forget to pay attention to, and that's the beastly sound coming out from this beast's mouth. Number 5. Mythical Serpents, Gods of Egypt. If you ever watched Gods of Egypt, then you might have seen these mythical serpents. They appear to be like cobras, only except much larger. One snake appears to have black scales, while the other appears white-scaled. These serpents had little on-screen time, but they totally delivered, and their serpentine roar earns these monsters the 5th spot. Number 4. Zombie Dragon, Resident Evil, The Final Chapter. What's more terrifying than a zombie and a dragon? The answer is a zombie dragon. Yes, this abomination of a being appeared in the final chapter of the Resident Evil series, and its distinctive growling and screeching sound can literally make anyone wet their pants. such as the horror that this monster's roar produced. Underrated? Oh yeah. Number 3. Rodan, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Rodan's roar is more like a screech or a scream, and is quite different from the roars of the previous incarnations. Rodan also makes low guttural clicks and growls that sound oddly similar to the Mutos, but deeper in tone. Though there are a few moments where Rodan's roar sounds roughly similar to his Showa roar. However, no matter which incarnation, his roar has always been underrated. Number 2. Indominus Rex. The second most underrated roar is definitely the one produced by the Indominus Rex, a genetically mutated monster that had to sound bigger and badder than the T-Rex. For Nelson, the creature's corrupt, ungodly origins were a clue to its necessary vocal personality. The film's director, Colin Trevorrow, encouraged him to make it sound as annoying and unpleasant as possible. "It needs to sound broken," Nelson says. "If you think of the T-Rex as this purebred, naturally occurring animal, so to speak, the Indominus is this mutant hybrid. The goal was to create a gnarly, scary, varied vocalization palette. Indominus Rex was the latest attraction in Jurassic World. The hybrid was created by combining the genetic traits of multiple species. Indominus's roar is estimated to reach 140 to 160 decibels, the same as a 747 taking off. It can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour while confined to its enclosure. Now, before we reveal the most underrated roar, here are a few honorable mentions. And the number 1 roar is Kraken, Clash of the Titans. Now that was some next level stuff. Majestic, fierce, terrifying, and having just the right amount of meat and power. The Kraken probably has one of the best roars in pop culture. Some might even say that this monster has the best ever roar, although that's debatable. Even though you'll see this beast in almost every ranking, but it never gets what it deserves. The Kraken is an absolute beast of a being, even for a colossal sea monster. Its sheer size and strength enable it to pull entire ships underwater and destroy cities without breaking a sweat. What's even more ridiculous is that even its roar penetrated rocks and clouds, and that's more than enough to earn the Kraken the top spot. Well, that was all for today. Make sure you subscribe to KK Data for more videos like these. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.